That shows the recording. Yes, it does. It is the February 6th, 2020. This is WIKISPEED Standup. Go ahead, Lauren.
Okay. Lawrence Salter, Gabriel Island, British Columbia, Canada. And the past week, nothing I can think of. Peripheral things maybe, but nothing I can think of. So that puts me to two tracks. One is to recover my password from my Pi or restart it so I can re-enter the Pi. And a couple of other hardware things. The test that the rock crawler has the same pinouts as you, and do the blinky lights because I got the kit for the Pi, and then the paperwork, reporting for the IRS. And then also that there's a thing due within a year of the renew the, or just report. Yeah, we just have to show we use the service mark. That's that. And blocks, I would say, yeah. We've had stormy weather, more snow, a bit more snow went away. Wind warning right now. But so far, there have been power failures on the island, but not here, not in my place. So fingers crossed that I can keep moving along. And yeah, that's it for me.
Okay, Michael Wolchuk in Saskatoon, Canada. I don't have much for last week either. Basically, I posted the video for last week. That was about it. Next week, I've had a carryover list for several weeks. Actually, I'm going to call it several months now, but I haven't knocked any of the points off. But I'm hoping to get to them here within the next week or two, at least get some progress. Blocks, nothing of note, and I guess that's about it for me.
Okay, so give myself a 2 for coming on. Team 8. I think it's normal to slow down and actually healthier rather than go backwards. Maybe if you're like, if I'm tired enough, I might go backwards if I tried to push ahead with some stuff. And oh yeah, I didn't do I didn't go to the library, nor kind of announce it. So, but I don't know. Lots of people. It was rainy last night, but lots of people showed up for our Linux meeting. So, I'm just going to continue to do that, but I would say no process improvement. That's it.
Okay, I'm going to give myself a 4. Not a whole lot different than your 2, but I don't really seem to go that low anyway. Team, I'm going to go with a 6 because we're not making progress, but we're still showing up, so that's got to count for something. And I don't have a process improvement. We still need to get more people on the call. You're making progress towards that. I am not, and I don't know how to fix that. Anyway, that's about it for me. Do you have anything you want to discuss on Crosstalk?
Can't think of anything. One thing is, we have this problem with Linux and with anything I want to do with this, but actually, yeah, this is interesting. So one of the guys has a Raspberry Pi 4, and he's playing with various things with it, and we're meeting in a cafe, in a restaurant, which is okay, but we don't have room to kind of spread our stuff out. He wants to do stuff with his Pi there, so it's going to be semi hardware Linux software, and we don't have a place. So the thing is, people show up because there's beer and there's food, and they hang around, and we get more done because there's food, but we don't have a place to lay stuff out. And so we were talking. I was talking with another friend because there's a makerspace in Nanaimo, not very convenient. I joined and I canceled after a month or two because it was just too inconvenient to get there and up to the industrial area where they rented their space. So, but I've been talking for a long time about a satellite kind of workshop, and also we'd been talking with another guy who wanted to. At one point, he wanted to teach a course, but that's not viable. Or rather, he's not around anymore. So, but a workshop here, a small kind of space with Wi-Fi, that's a challenge here that we don't have to pay for. But anyway, that's kind of a thing to consider. I like the idea of if I can get someone on the call, but we have this issue with it'd be even better, not so much necessarily on the stand-up, but maybe before or after, or at, another time, to actually work together on stuff. Because I think that's possible. We've been talking about different projects. And I did want to update you on my water heater. I was systematically kind of pushed away from doing anything other than replace my existing heater. I wanted the two smaller heaters. And it was like, oh, that's going to cost a whole lot more, and it's going to take way longer. So I was trying to save. I was trying to save some bit of that because the on-demand wasn't going to work because they only have 100, not 200 amp. Is it?
Yep.
And I still don't know if the 200 amp it cost. I know the startup cost. I don't know the monthly cost yet. I phoned Hydro. We'll have to get a technical expert for that. So I still don't have that answer. But it was kind of an interesting exercise because basically the only thing we did was take it from the factory 140 down to 130 Fahrenheit to save energy. But go ahead.
Like for the 200 amp service, it's not a change in monthly cost. All besides the upfront cost for setting it up, all you're charged is your additional usage.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Anyways, it was too much for me now anyway. Because it was in the thousands. So including the electrician to hook it up from my end and all that stuff. So maybe another time. And do you kind of recommend it even if you want to save energy? Because I was thinking they were taught, there's this group here I told you about that it's a sustainable energy co-op, and they sell what they consider the best heat pump and they call them Yeti. They're kind of just ready-made car battery things, or bigger that, but they include all the inverters and everything, so you just plug them in.
Oh yeah, it has the battery and the solar panel and all that stuff on, right?
Yeah, you can get the solar panel and all this. And then they also have a do-it-yourself guy who says, it's infinitely cheaper to do it yourself. So than our products. So they're good. They're interested in them. In providing that. And they were talking about an island off, well, maybe a Scandinavian country that cut the cord for power. And they changed how they live. They don't leave anything on, and they're very, very thrifty and careful. And they talked to the people there, and they said, well, for the first month or two, it was an adjustment, and then it's fine. But I was thinking along those lines, maybe I wouldn't want to spend money upgrading to 200, given that my aim is to not use a lot.
Oh,
On
yeah.
the other hand, you know, for kind of modern stuff, they expect 200, like the on-demand water heater. That might have saved money, and it doesn't make you use more. It's just an upgrade in capacity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can use more at a time is basically what it works out to.
Yeah, yeah. So anyways, it was a kind of interesting exercise. So then I don't know if I told you, I was bothering the plumber and the hardware store about, because I'd been talking with this guy, the same guy with the Raspberry Pi, about heat pumps and water heaters, and I thought he was talking about a water heater, and he says, you know, they've got Wi-Fi, so you can adjust the temperature. And I thought he was talking about the water heater, but he was talking about the heat pump, which I have a heat pump that has Wi-Fi. It's got a remote, and there's an option on the remote to set up a Wi-Fi, you know, IoT kind of thing.
Who makes it? I'm looking actually for a boiler header, like the one, like the separate valves, the zone control. And I can't find one that has Wi-Fi.
Oh, you know, they don't even advertise it much. So this one's a Fujitsu heat pump. And I'm not 100% sure that I'm going through this guy, and he said, look at the instructions and you'll see you can set it up for Wi-Fi, but I haven't yet. So I'm not 100% sure, but he uses it for his church and I think at home. And I think, I don't know what brand he has. And in terms of what's a good brand, this co-op, they change what they're using. They kind of look at the latest reviews and the best, latest, cheapest, most value, highest value for the money. So they change their recommendation. But the Fujitsu I've had for 5 years, 4.5 years, and it's been good. There's a couple of things I do when it gets below close to freezing and it starts to defrost. I start a fire to take it to stop it from doing so much defrosting. And I vacuum it. I vacuum the filters monthly, fairly with fair amount of rigor. And so it's performed well. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, the same guy who I thought he was talking about the heat pump, he sent me a do-it-yourself water heater. It's actually a Raspberry Pi, a thing that it simply through the internet it turns off your heater or turns it on.
Okay.
And I told him I think an Arduino would be more than enough for that. That'd be since it's just an on-off. That would be you wouldn't need a Raspberry Pi for it.
The Raspberry Pi since it is a computer, you can get probably better security on it than the Arduino.
Oh, I see.
But I haven't researched security on either of them. That's just a guess.
Yeah, and some of the Arduinos have Wi-Fi, right? Is that right? You have to get a particular one, or do they all have?
The Arduinos have a shield. It's
yeah.
It's an Ethernet shield. It's like $30 or $35 or something.
Yeah, right. And then, do you mind talking a little longer?
Sure.
Yeah. So I was thinking for that project. I don't know how. I haven't looked at it. I mean, the simplest to me would be to actually have a little, like, lever that trips your breaker back and forth. Would be the least. The most legal way to do it, because basically you're allowed to turn your breaker on and off.
Yep. Any mechanical lever, you're going to run into challenges with linkage, making sure that it engages properly.
It's hard enough with with a human hand to trip a break, to do a breaker. You have to apply a fair amount of pressure. So.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
And you can reduce the amount of pressure if you put like a some of the breakers, especially the Federal Pioneers, if I remember, had a little hole in the breaker, like in the tab, because they had some that were faulty, and the way that they showed you that they were the newer and not faulty ones was they had a little hole in them. So it made it possible for you to connect like a little longer handle on them. So it wasn't as hard to move them, but you had to move them further. So.
Right. Yeah. It's a little bit like that machine that turns itself off.
Yep.
I don't think I needed something that looks like a hand. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's about it. That's all I got. Anything? You got anything?
If you're trying to turn something on and off, if you put it's called a contactor. They use them for motor starters, or things that are 1 horse and bigger, drill presses, lathes, that kind of stuff.
Right.
As long as it's inside a metal box and it's wired to local electrical codes, it's not too bad in terms of turning it on and off. You can probably turn it on and off with an Arduino and a 5-volt signal. Like you'll need a solid state relay that the Arduino goes to the solid state relay, which then turns on and off the contactor, because the contactor takes an amp or so to actually move. But there are ways of doing those sorts of things.
Yeah. Okay. A contactor.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. And you need a relay and a box to code. Okay.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it's if you look for Arduino projects, that's a favorite. A project is turning on and off mains power with an Arduino.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So
European guys call it mains power instead of outlets. I'm not sure exactly.
Right. Yeah. So the smart home, but more versatile.
In fact, you could actually use a smart home outlet to do it if you wanted to.
But the water heater's connected directly to the wiring, not plugged in.
Yeah, but it could be connected to the contactor, and the outlet could turn on and off the contactor. You wouldn't need a relay then or anything like that.
Okay. So you'd have an outlet to power the contactor.
Yes.
Yeah. Got it. Oh yeah, and then okay.
The Arduino will control your smart outlet kind of thing, or the Raspberry Pi or whatever you come up with, right?
Right. Okay, cool. Yeah. So in fact, they told me 45 minutes, which was a little low to heat up the water. I mean, it wasn't after 45 minutes, but I have to test how long that is, and it's kind of limited use, because this guy says I save energy, because when we go somewhere for any period of time, I turn off the water heater, turn it on, and it's within an hour it's hot, and so I save a lot of, he saves money the old-fashioned way. Just turn it off when he goes away.
Just turn it off.
Yeah. But it would be sort of cool, like if I was going for a few hours, like when I go out running, if on my way back I kind of get it to draw my bath when it not quite, but Okay.
All right.
Okay. Oh, good talking. Hopefully I have more energy and more things happen. I'm not too concerned. I actually feel the clutter is clearing away, and actually I'm taking up things that I hadn't taken up for a long time.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, how much effort is it to do tax receipt for the donation stuff? I remember you did it last year, and I don't remember how much effort it was.
It wasn't a lot. It was. Did you do it monthly again?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind. Send it along, and I'll prioritize it.
Okay. Well, it's just I think that the matching donation thing worked last year, and may as well do it again. Essentially free money.
So you're anticipating for next year, or doing it for?
for this past year, I believe when I send the receipt in, there's a matching donation from my employer.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So whenever you have paperwork, send it to me.
Mhm.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay.
See you next week.
Yep.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.